Greetings and welcome to another unboxing video. I like doing these videos because they're incredibly easy to do. And this one today is model Shipways American Privateer Virginia Sloop 1768 kit. It's kit number MS2160, obviously made by model Shipways, made in the USA. Yay! It's not my favorite kit manufacturer. It's not Blue Jacket, but model Shipways makes an incredible kit regardless. There is presently on YouTube a few sections of the build on this particular kit, and I encourage you to watch those. The kit has some pretty nice features. This is the, I don't know, not the latest kit, but sorry, this is the basically the most modern building of the kit as far as like the laser planking and all of that stuff. So this is the crispest, if that's a word, and cleanest molding of this particular kit that model Shipways has yet produced. This was the kit was renovated in 2011. Generally you could tell the newer kits versus the older kits by the color of the box. Model Shipways has kind of adopted this this blue box with the single sticker as opposed to a giant white laminated box. Obviously I think this saves them money, and makes it pretty easy to find a newer kit from an older kit. Does it really matter? Not so much. It all varies with skill level, but I did find that the wood cuttings were a little sharper on the newer kits. They're a little better put together and a little more concise. So without further ado, the length is going to be about 31 inches on the overall kit. Height from the top of the mast to the bottom of the keel is going to be about 22 inches. Width across from tips of the main yard about 8 1/4, and the scale is about 148. So the first thing you're going to notice when you open this kit up is the unbelievable plans, as you can kind of see there. You can, I think they're like 8 sheets of plans of various details. I've actually used real vessel plans with my day job, which is as a marine inspector of large vessels, and these plans are definitely on par with those you'd find on a real vessel today. Obviously there's no internal details. It is a plank on bulkhead model kit, but the level of detail on these plans is it's everything you need to build just shy of a real boat if you want to scale it down. The instruction book, well thought out, well detailed. It's got some nice exploded diagrams. Having recently just done a Corel kit, I could tell you that the model Shipways, if you're going to get into model shipbuilding, model Shipways is probably the way I'd go, just for the level of detail on the instructions and the plans. And obviously you have the mighty packing list. Last time the packing list was updated, and you can see this is obviously the new kit, because last time it was updated was 10/15/2014. So it's definitely latest and greatest for model Shipways. You can see there is a plethora of stuff. The nice thing about model Shipways is you buy a kit from them. If you ever mess up or something goes wrong, they give you you can kind of see that. They give you the part numbers specific to what you need. If something is missing, definitely give them a call or email them, and it's always been my experience they will get those parts to you as soon as possible. A lot of wood dowels, rigging. I'll show you that in a minute. There's a ton of basswood strips, walnut strips. There's some beech, used for the masts and yards. A lot of laser cut parts. There's a lot of just plain old plain Jane basswood blocks for doing the bow and stern fillings, which you'll see on blueprints. They do give you a copious quantity of these basswood blocks. If you're patient, you can do a pretty reasonable job carving them up and making them work. Just a huge, let's see, so there are 7 sheets of plans, A through G, and they're awesome. There's hull and framing plans, deck plans with profiles, mast structures, and on and on and on. So since it's a YouTube video and you're not just listening to me, obviously there's a bag of various miscellaneous sized line. And what I like is the standing rigging. When there's various sizes of standing rigging, it makes your model look really authentic. Here's the 2 sheets of laser cut. Obviously these are the bulkheads and bulkhead support with the keel, or at least the keel framing, and another whole section of frames. I mean, this is a laser cut A, laser cut B, and within these, all these frames, all these bulkheads have laser cut into them corresponding, you can kind of see there, R, Q, all of these things. So an incredibly easy labeling system on the bulkheads. Should be no confusion there. We have a list of various parts: line, dead eyes, copper wire, mast hoops. You've got swivel guns, you've got the 6 cannons, cleats, just all kinds of stuff in this little package of goodies. You've got the laser cut decks and the mahogany parts, as well as other deck fillers. Look at the level of detail in the, I don't know if you can kind of see that, just the windows alone. Really awesome. Just really brilliant laser cutting technique on these wood parts. You also have a tube of various sized. I presume these are going to be used for trim, and specifically for rudder and rudder post, as rudder fasteners. And then this just massive pile of wood that I'm not going to open up, but just mahogany strips, basswood strips, all of this stuff, and you can't really see it, but it's taped inside. Each piece, each bunch of pieces is basically taped together, so there's no like sifting through it to figure out which kind of wood is which. That is a torrential amount of wood right there, and I can't even fit a lot of kits, and that's just an inordinate amount of wood planking for a kit this size. And I think that's awesome. Model Shipways did a good job. Obviously gathering all the pieces you need for this kit. I can tell this thing is first rate. This is definitely not for a beginner, but if you're getting into plank on bulkhead, a Model Shipways kit is definitely the way to go. I would caution you maybe to start with solid hull. Most of you that are watching this and have gotten into model shipbuilding know that, but just to reiterate, I would hate to have somebody get into building model ships and be frustrated because they just didn't think they could do it and never come back to it. So my plans on this build are, I intend to basically use this particular kit as a basis for a revenue cutter, circa about 1797. It was a single-masted sloop 10-gun, and that's going to be the revenue cutter General Greene. That's a United States boat. It was the second cutter to bear the name of the famous Revolutionary War general. The kit will need to be minimally modified. Basically, the tonnage is right and the length is right. Obviously, it's a sloop rig. It was designed to take cannon, so it's definitely in the right era. It's in the right type, and it's in the right tonnage and size and breadth and width. It's going to have, I don't have any hard data on the General Greene, so it's going to have to be a little bit of supposition on my part as to how this is going to be put together and how it would have been used. But this kit is as close as I probably could get to the 1797 General Greene model. I've seen the vessel depicted in several paintings. Even in those paintings, they seem to gravitate towards this design. If you can kind of see it a little bit better. This is what the design is going to look like when it's completed. It's a single-masted sloop, and see the cannon ports and the main deck. It does have a bigger cabin than most revenue cutters had, but in that time period there were a lot of American ships that were being built as privateers. A lot of yards were building privateers, so for them to, for those yards who were building smaller craft and already building privateers, they probably would have constructed a revenue cutter along the same lines as a regular privateer. And you'll notice that the again, you notice there's a really heavy arc of the mast. It's really stepped back as far as, like, you know, it's like an extreme Baltimore Clipper type mast. But obviously they would have done this to fly more jibs and put more sail on the jibs, which would have led to a reduced manning, but would have given them a lot more sail area with the ability to use a lot less hands. And obviously the speed of the ship, this would have put the bulk of the propulsion on the front of the vessel versus the stern of the vessel, which would have you know, theoretically raised the bow, give it a little more push in the front, as it were. So anyway, that's my theory on the General Greene. I've had a couple people do some research for me, and one of the items they did discover, especially in regards to gunnery, and this is fortunate for me, is that the vessel may have been cut for 10 guns, but most likely she really didn't carry. The General Greene didn't carry any more than anywhere from 6 to 8. As the kit comes with 6 guns, I think we're going to stick with that. And even though I'm going to have to add 2 more gun ports, most likely towards the bow, so I'm going to have to rearrange the plans a little bit. Anyway, that's my quick unboxing of the armed Virginia sloop of 1768, which I will be building into the General Greene, and hopefully I will be able to take these video series along as I construct the vessel, and you can follow me along. This vessel is Greene is being made for the U.S. Coast Guard to position in their lobby as a kind of a, I don't know, not a decoration, but basically to show the General Greene as she was originally stationed at that particular Coast Guard facility back in that time period. So I do have a timeline on this, so we'll see how much actual video I can get. Anyway, thank you much, and hopefully this wasn't too boring and my massive verbal diatribe didn't put you to sleep. But this will technically be part 1 of building the General Greene. Thanks, and thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.